All right, welcome back to Cut the Slack, episode 3 of the quarantine discussion and the positives of quarantine.
Yeah.
So, right at the end of the last episode, you have a great way of kind of leading us into the new topic, and that is when things change, you're forced to do something different. Like, as an example, you brought up to me earlier today a gentleman that was ex-military. He was a fighter. He was a soldier. He started his own gym business, right?
Oh, yeah.
And got into that and really didn't have a care for politics. Whatever they did at the capital of his state was fine. He wasn't concerned and didn't want to get involved in it until they closed his business down.
Yeah.
And that was his way of making money. So every day he would get up, he would make his money, he would do his marketing, he would focus on his business, basically. What can I do to build my business, get more clients, make current clients happier, and so on. But then that changed, and he wasn't able to do that anymore. And they really took that ability to have that specific business away. And then what was he going to do with this time?
Yeah. So like you said, he was not politically active whatsoever because he was working on his passion. He was into fitness, social interaction, competitiveness, bringing healthy habits to the community, and he was doing that. And then they said, what you are doing is now illegal. And so you shut down your business, okay? Now he's like, okay, well, what am I going to do with my day,
Right.
They're telling him, just stay home. That's not an option. I don't do nothing. That's
Right.
not what we do. So he turned all of his focus. It went from marketing, being at the gym, managing his employees, doing marketing, doing community events. It went from that to, okay, I'm going to wake up now and I'm going to create petitions. I'm going to rally local business owners. I'm going to call my senator. I'm going to reach out to the governor. I'm going to now rally my people and say what is going on here. And
Right.
that is the right move. You don't just stay home and do nothing. That's
Right.
never an option. So you have so much energy as a person, and when something gets taken from you, you need to now, that's where your focus goes. Whoa, what just happened here? So that's what he's been doing. He's been rallying local business owners and getting petitions signed, reaching out to his congressmen. Just now he's politically active. He's an activist.
So based on what happened, and really kind of by no choice of his, he went from being a gym owner and a personal trainer to a political activist.
Right.
Because they changed the rules and took his business away, so to speak, in the
Yeah.
way that it had to shut down
Yeah.
during this. So I think that's pretty cool, man. You have the option in some cases to move to another state, like we talked about, if they're allowing
Right.
that. But when you're talking about a brick and mortar business, and you're not Elon Musk,
Right.
and you don't have billions of dollars, it's not that easy to just uproot your business and go and create a new gym. Like, my businesses are very virtual, so I have websites and phone calls, and that's how most of my business is done. But when
Yeah.
you're a gym owner, you shut the gym down. Maybe you put all your money into that gym.
Right.
Maybe that's your life savings in that gym, and you don't have enough money to uproot and go to another state. So he had to start to work with what he had in the way of becoming an activist
Yeah.
to change those rules.
That's it.
Did he make any progress?
Well, I'm not sure the status, but he posts every day, and he gets hundreds of thousands of views. I'm sure that's translating into something. But just that awareness, knowing that someone's out there doing those things,
Right.
is valuable.
Speaking up.
That's it. And it all comes back to what does America represent?
Sure.
And that's what I'm saying. The good that came from this is maybe people are being a little more aware of the Constitution, because it's now it's in our face.
Sure. Well, it was forgotten for a long time because everything was just
Yeah.
go and do whatever you want, party, have fun,
Yeah.
travel. And all of a sudden now people are starting to get educated about the amendments.
I think there's
Constitution.
There's 1,200 pastors in California that have come together, and they're saying we're going to open on May 31st, whether it's legal or not.
Right.
And that's
The freedom to practice religion.
I made a little post, I don't even know, a month or two ago, basically calling out religious leaders. I said religious leaders are not leaders at all, because you do not take an order from a corrupt politician and deny your congregation the ability to come together. A leader, by definition, leads those people, and you like, when all this happened, the religious leaders should have stepped up and said, no, you do not shut down our church. Like, that's how it should have gone. And that's what I'm saying. Like, hopefully after or through all this, it won't ever happen again. Like, the idea of shutdown should have never happened. We fell for it. And there's consequences for that, for sure. But it should never happen again. And the religious leaders, again, I'm not religious, but your freedom to exercise your religion, I will back. Like, that's essential. And yeah, it shouldn't happen again. I think
very interesting. Yeah, because you're in history, if you look back in history and religious leaders, they usually were kind of a little bit of a rebel. They had to go against the government because in some cases the government wasn't supporting their choice of religion.
Right.
So many people in the past were hanged and burnt at the stake because they were practicing a different religion than the government wanted them to practice.
Yeah.
So a lot of the religious leaders were rebels and zealots and people that really had to kind of operate in the fringe of society to have their freedom to practice the religion of their choice. And that's kind of went away a little bit now. But I was very proud of a lot of the leaders, mainly because what I was told was going to happen with the virus didn't really play out like they said it was going to happen.
Yeah.
We talked about this before, where we both quarantined ourselves and our families for a good long time. Because we were afraid and we believed everything that was being said. And if it was the way it was, if it did play out the way it was supposed to, the way they had kind of told us that it would, then I think all of us would have stayed on lockdown and would have wanted to stay on lockdown, because if you see millions of people dying and people in your neighborhood dying, then you're going to say okay.
Yeah.
But when it doesn't play out like that, then I think there's a point where people need to say, hey, we took precautions. Good thing it didn't happen like we thought it was going to.
Right.
And, let's go back to normal life,
Yeah.
So I was happy to see that the churches, stood up at that point where they felt that and said, you know what? And in this case, there was something really kind of crazy about it, because they had the president's backing. They had the president's support. The president of the United States said to open churches, while many of the governors and mayors said no.
Yeah.
So that's something I've never seen before. I mean, I've seen people be on different sides of the line when it comes to party and things like that. But when you got governors and mayors saying no, and the president saying, hey, man, I got your back, dude.
Right.
Do your thing. I just never seen that before, and that was like, wow, what a trip. And then what are you gonna do there? And I think there was even a point where I don't think, I know, because I saw videos. There was a point where even individual police officers were saying, hey, I'm here for the people. I'm here to protect the people, and I'm not here to support what I think might be tyranny.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting to see a little bit of a divide where there were officers saying, hey, I can't go along with this anymore. I did my job, but I'm not seeing what I support coming out in legislation, and I'm not going to go arrest people that aren't doing something wrong.
Yeah. That gym owner, it's funny because he recorded the whole shutdown, like the cop coming into his business, them having an exchange, and then getting the citation, and then so he got a citation for being open, and then he called the chief of police. The chief of police said, "Just rip it up, just don't even acknowledge it."
Wow.
I got your back. It's all good. Okay, so he's like, "All right, cool. I'm good." That police chief got fired And the police officer who came and who issued the citation was now acting chief. He became chief.
Wow.
Like within the week. So
What is this, Mayberry? Do they have 3 people in their police department, and one of them
we're seeing good cops, bad cops, and a lot of the good cops are getting removed. And then that's what I'm saying. Who's making these decisions, right? Like, aren't police chiefs that's what I'm saying. No one's focus has been on who is Corona's police chief, who is the sheriff for this county, what are his beliefs, And it's like, those things do matter. They matter because they're going to trickle into the community, and we're going to see a bunch of people go to jail, get cited, get piled on massive, debt for these frivolous, things.
Yeah, and you would think that like something like the police chief, that would be you would like to think that was an appointed position where the people said this person supports our beliefs, and we want him there as the sheriff, as the mayor, things like that. But it doesn't sound like that happened. It sounds like that certain person was towing the party line,
right?
And so he got promoted.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a scary place to be, right there.
It is. But again, the positive is that now we know that we need to be a little more involved, like
as people,
overlooking who these officials are.
Yeah.
Because
as citizens of the county, of the
city, they are public servants. That's another thing. Like, this whole drill, this whole test, this whole pandemic, we need to flip it now. Like, they are public servants. They are not our rulers, Right. And again, they forgot that somehow. And so did the people. Like, just the whole shelter in place thing. We're going to see lawsuits coming out state by state that shelter in place they don't even have the legal authority to do that. But they see it on the news. They see a guy in a suit. They see, the little sign language person, and they see it, they hear it, and they comply. Mm-hmm. And no, it's back to our other podcast. You need to take what they're hearing and then weigh that against the Constitution. Yeah. Does it violate these rules or not? And if it does, then you're not even in jurisdiction.
Right. And so that goes back to freedoms and, America and the fact that this is, by the people for the people.
Yeah.
And if people don't like the way it's being run, then they need to stand up and not just take it.
That's it.
So protect your freedom, people. We will see you on the next one.